Chargepoint stock price prediction and news update. Okay guys, so here we are with another Chargepoint video. We're going to talk a little bit more about the merger delayed news and also talk about why it's really important to vote to make sure this merger goes through, because I think a lot of people are really anxious to see the new ticker symbol under Chargepoint CHPT and just kind of see things move along. This merger has taken a lot longer than I anticipated, so we're going to talk a little bit more about that in this video. Before I get into this video, I remind you guys to grab your 2 free stocks over at Webull. All you have to do is simply click the link in the description below or go to investortrip.com/Webull and grab your 2 free stocks up to $1,850. Guys, Webull, really awesome trading app. So let's get back into what's been going on with Chargepoint. So as you can see here, there was some big news. The merger was delayed. I'm going to check out a little bit more on that, and that has caused a lot of, I would say, weakness in the stock price. So we talked a lot about how Chargepoint SBE was basically hitting higher lows and the stock was kind of trending up and things like that. And when the merger delayed news came, as you can see here, the stock went down, but it found a nice support base of around, I would say, around $36.50 to $37. So nice support here. And this is clearly showing that people are really anticipating this merger. Remember now, Chargepoint already has $100 million in annual revenue. So this isn't one of these kind of, startup companies that aren't in the business. Chargepoint is the clear innovator and the clear leader in the United States when it comes to EV charging stations. So if you guys are looking for a company that is super forward thinking and ready to basically profit from this huge trend, this EV trend, this nothing, we're barely scraping the surface when it comes to the transitioning of all these ICE vehicles into EVs. Chargepoint is a great place to look. So basically what we're looking for here is we're looking for the merger to go through. So as you can see here, I'm on the Switchback Energy website. So you guys check this out yourself. Click the link in the description below. Just go to Switchback. So if you guys own shares in Switchback Energy before December 16th, make sure you voted. So in my previous video, I showed you guys how I was voting through Fidelity and make it really easy. So you can vote online. You can also vote by telephone. And why this is really important is that they simply need to just receive enough votes. Apparently they didn't receive enough or whatever to make the merger go through. Remember now, SBE, this is the SPAC company, the shell company that is basically allowing Chargepoint to merge and come on the New York Stock Exchange a lot faster than a traditional IPO. So it's really important that we vote and get this deal passed through, because if the SPAC deal doesn't go through, then they're going to have to basically return the money, the SBE money, which would really be bad, and this merger will not go through. So obviously I think it's going to go through. I've been reading a lot of message boards and things like that, and a lot of people are voting. Maybe they weren't really aware of how to vote, or maybe they've never participated in this type of proxy voting before when it comes to a SPAC. So it's really easy, guys. Make sure you check out the link if you need to vote. It's really simple, and actually they also give you guys some suggestions on where to vote. I basically just voted for every proposal. Like I said, obviously there's a few legalese and a bit of obviously legalese terms in this merger proposal, but the most important thing for me is that the ticker symbol changes and that we start getting on board, because as you can see here, Blink Charging and some of these other companies that have already completed their mergers, they're already trading publicly, and they've got a lot of people buying up that stock. And I really think that Chargepoint is being held back by basically still trading under SBE ticker symbol. I really think it's holding the company back for many reasons. Why? Obviously for branding reasons, but also just for ease of recognizing it easily. Just people really not familiar with what SBE stands for, and Chargepoint is much more recognizable brand. The #1 selling home charging unit on Amazon, the clear leader in North America, and it's only trading at around $37. So I'm going to explain what's going to happen after this merger in case you guys have never been involved with these type of SPAC deals before. So if the merger is completed, the ticker symbol will change over to CHPT. So you'll no longer see SBE anymore. I won't be putting SBE in any of my future videos or things like that. And you won't find it if you go check out the stock on Yahoo Finance or Google. You'll see it under CHPT, and it'll be trading under Charge. Okay, so when the merger is completed, there should be around 250 million shares of Chargepoint initially, and then of course they're going to make some room to add some additional shares. So when things are all said and done, there should be something like between 250 million to 300 million shares outstanding, which is quite substantial for a publicly traded company, on the New York Stock Exchange. And obviously they'll be able to do some capital raises in the future. But right now, due to the SPAC merger, they're going to have plenty of cash on hand. So I don't think we have any risk of any huge dilution. The company is profitable. And of course, they're probably going to do some stock offerings if the stock price soars up a bit. But I think that this stock is going to follow a similar path as DraftKings. When DraftKings completed their merger, I believe the stock was around $19 and now it's trading around $60. So I do think there's a ton of upside here, but the merger needs to get completed really for this stock to kind of realize that upside. So now we're taking a look at this chart. Seeing as that we take a look at the year-to-date chart, Switchback Energy ChargePoint has basically given up almost all of its 2021 gains, but that's okay, and that's simply because a lot of people were kind of scared that the merger wouldn't get completed, and a lot of people sold off and went to chase some of the other high-flying stocks that we have currently in the market now. But I really think that this stock is going to soar. So if you just take a look at the last 6 months, and I really like to kind of back up and give you guys more of a longer term point of view, because if you look at those year-to-date returns, you might be scared out of the stock. But over the last 6 months, the stock is still up 263%, which is pretty remarkable. And one of the things I like about ChargePoint is it doesn't seem to be following any of these massive run-ups like GameStop, eHonk, AMC. The stock is basically trading much more slowly and is going up much gradually than some of these other companies. And that's simply because this stock is basically trading due to the underlying fundamentals. So I don't think there's any huge risk of ChargePoint crashing to 30 or 25 or 20 or anything like that after the merger. I think you're making a big mistake if you're going to wait and see what happens after the merger. I think for companies like these, so obviously if we're looking at companies that don't have much revenue, obviously you could do a wait and see approach. But when there's revenue baked in, there have been a lot of people, like myself included, that bought here in huge anticipation, and they're going to be holding their shares. So when we take a look at a chart like this and we see support here, support, more support, these are all dip buyers. So these are people that are already probably long the stock and bought more of it, and they're holding it. So they're not trading in and out of this stock like GameStop. So they're just definitely like a completely separate situation when it comes to a stock like this. You got a lot of people that are holding this stock for the long run. They really want to see the merger completed. So that makes this a much sayfer buy, I think, in my opinion. Obviously, don't invest money you can't lose. This is just my personal opinion on ChargePoint, but I haven't sold a single share, and I've just been dip buying, buying when I can get cheaper shares. So my future price prediction, obviously, if you guys checked out my channel, I have a $3,000 price target on ChargePoint by 2030, and that's simply because it's the #1 leader in America. And usually when companies are the #1 leader in America, they do really well over the long run, because as of now, the US dollar is still the world reserve currency, and whenever US companies are going to be huge market leaders, that gives them the opportunity to expand, just like we saw with Amazon and Netflix and Apple and Google and many other companies. So if you're the leader in America, that says something, and that's definitely a huge stamp of approval. So my future price prediction, I think after the merger, we're going to see the stock move up and gap up to future levels, perhaps 40, 50, maybe even $100 by 2021. Of course, I could be wrong, but I don't think I want to bet against this stock. I've done a lot of research on ChargePoint, and it's one of my top holdings, and it probably will end up becoming one of my top holdings by the end of the year. But I've been gradually building position. It's just around 10 to 15% of my portfolio, so I'm not all in. For some of you guys that are all in on ChargePoint, obviously do your own due diligence. I definitely think if you're going to go all in, betting on a stock that is basically fighting climate change is a winning strategy. It's worked really well for Tesla. It's working really well for Lucid Air, CCIV. That stock hasn't even completed its merger, and it's already up a ton. It's up almost to $60 since I recommended it here when it was $13. So these climate change stocks, to look at these companies, a lot of people say, oh, they're an EV charging company, but it's more important to see it as a climate change fighting company. And that's really where you can kind of step back and get a more broader, look at this company, seeing that obviously they're making money charging vehicles, but what they really do is fighting climate change and saving the planet, and all that positive karma that's going to really help take this stock price to the next level. Okay guys, so that's it. So like I said, my future price target for ChargePoint stock after the merger, I'm looking for this stock to potentially double or so. So I'm looking around $60, but I'll just be buying on dips. You know, I'll be waiting it out, and I'll be waiting for my $3,000 price target to hit by the end of the year, guys. So if you enjoy my content, please smash a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Also, check out my private Discord chat in the link description below and my Stock Watch newsletter. So that's until next time, guys. Take care.